Today's video is sponsored by Pim Particles! Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was directed by Peyton Reed. It serves as the beginning of Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it is the 31st film in the MCU. If you haven't seen the film yet, this review will contain some big-time spoilers. I'll have a time code on the screen telling you when I enter the spoiler segment, so you can click off, watch the film, and check out my thoughts. Scott Lang is back for another adventure, and this time we go into the quantum realm. Jonathan Majors is our villain, Kang the Conqueror, and he absolutely delivers on all cylinders. His performance is phenomenal, and Kang is truly a menacing threat. He has not passed Thanos yet for me, but he is definitely on his way. We also have Corey Stoll back as Darren Cross. If you'll remember from the first film, he was Yellow Jacket, and he's now known as MODOK. That's right. Some may consider that a spoiler, but if you read who's in the film online, it clearly says who's playing MODOK. Please don't comment that I spoiled the film for you. He is mostly played for laughs. I was kind of disappointed that he wasn't utilized in a better way. He isn't done horribly, as he does have some great moments, especially towards the end of the film, but I just wanted more. Bill Murray isn't in this film that long, which doesn't affect my score. I just wish he was in it longer, because Bill Murray. As for the rest of the cast, Paul Rudd is still as charismatic as ever. Evangeline Lilly and Katherine Newton are great. Michael Douglas is iconic as Hank Pym. And Michelle Pfeiffer really does show off some fine acting in this film. Her and Jonathan Majors and Paul Rudd. Those three right there would be my trio for the best acting in the film. Cassie Lang is a nice new addition, and she definitely has a lot of potential. The story in this film is primarily built around family and making up lost time. Scott wishes he had more time with his daughter, and Kang feels cheated out of time, causing him to want nothing but conquest and destruction. The effects in this film started off okay. It slowly got better as the film went on. The humor can be 50-50 at times. It was kind of hit or miss for most of it. But when the jokes do land, they did land pretty hard, at least for me anyway. There's plenty of callbacks to past films. In complete honesty, I know this film has its flaws, but it's really a fun ride. That being said, I will admit Marvel films have been on the decline lately. No Way Home, Shang-Chi, and Wakanda Forever have been the standouts in terms of recent Marvel. Marvel has had trouble with quantity over quality, in my opinion. Just putting out way too many things a year. Releasing 3 to 4 shows and films a year is just, it's not a good strategy. I hear that now they are learning from their mistakes. I think we're only getting Loki Season 2 and Secret Invasion this year in terms of shows, which is fine. They can push back Ironheart and Daredevil, all those other shows. They'll just make them 100 times better when we do get them, because they've had that much time to be worked on. Thus, when we get things like Thor: Love and Thunder and She-Hulk: Attorney at Law, it really starts to beg the question, is Marvel losing that quality that we used to have with those first 3 phases? I must say, while Quantumania has its faults and silly ideas, it kind of comes together pretty good for me and provides a thoroughly enjoyable experience. Like, the comedy is not always there, but when it is, it's great. The action, we'll get into that during the spoiler section, isn't shot the best, but there was some good moments towards the back half of the film. I'd give Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania an 8 out of 10. Now entering spoilers, I want to say that the decision to kill off MODOK in this film is really, really disappointing. He is ridiculous looking, and I think they knew that going into this film, that people won't take him seriously. I won't fault them for his look, but to kill him off just really damages the impact that he has on the film. I feel bad for the MODOK fans and people who were getting excited for his MCU debut, because it ends with this film. I wish Corey Stoll the best, but dang, I really wish he could have stuck around for this film, honestly. The direction by Peyton Reed here, I know he did the first 2 films, but I think he did the first 2. He might have only done the first. It's not the best, to be honest. Some line deliveries is kind of off. The writing here isn't the best as well. Like, there's a scene where Cassie is talking to this new side character who just doesn't even hold a candle to the other guys, the Luis and Kurt and Dave from the past 2 films. Because I'll tell you right now that Luis isn't in the film. Michael Pena is not in this film, which is kind of disappointing. I won't take away points from that because it's just like a petty thing to do, but it would have been better with him in it. So Cassie's talking to this new side character, and she's like, "So you have a plan?" And then side characters, talking and talking, saying her plan. She's like, "Oh, okay. So you have a plan." And then she keeps talking. She's like, "All right, good, good. There's a plan." Like, well, hello. I don't know. Just stuff like that just seems like really dumb writing to me. Um, we learn throughout the course of the film that Janet Van Dyne is the reason Kang has conquered the quantum realm. Kang was exiled, and Janet helped him almost to the point where he was able to escape. She does finally see what his true motives are and prevents him from leaving, but he already has his suit and his powers at this point, so he's able to take over the quantum realm and hunt down Janet, and that's what she was up to until we saved her. Until Hank and the gang saved her in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Kang gets Scott to get the thing he needs to leave the quantum realm in exchange for Cassie. Of course, in true villain fashion, Kang doesn't keep his word and forcefully takes it from Scott. Hank, throughout the film, he learns that there are ants that traveled in the quantum realm with them, and they've just become so evolved to the point where they stroll in at the final battle and manage to take down Kang for a little bit, which was that was a good bit. I mean, I kind of was missing like the ant connection with this whole thing. I mean, I know we're in the quantum realm, but like I was missing the actual ant manning, like the controlling ants and stuff like that. So I was glad they implemented that back into the third act here. Um, so we get a massive battle here with the ants and these side characters that don't really make that much impact. There's a joke with one character. He just talks about how many holes people have the whole film. I don't know, man. I think he was voiced by David Dastmalchian, who played Kurt in the last two Ant-Man films, and he was Polka Dot Man in the Suicide Squad, which was fun fact. But I don't know. That character was just it wasn't doing it for me. I didn't laugh at all, really. Maybe like the first joke with the holes was fine, but I saw that one in a TV spot, so everything else was just kind of but yeah, the fights in this film are really not the best. The cinematography and camera work for them is just not good. It's a bunch of dirty, just janky composed shots of explosions and fighting. Where the film excels in the action is actually at the very end, where Kang tries to make his final stand against Scott and Hope. The hand-to-hand fight between Kang and Scott was very entertaining. The first act might drag for some people as we spend a while seeing how Scott's life has changed since Endgame. The second act is an improvement. You get those weird side characters that you don't care about too much. The side story with Janet and Hank and Hope was fine. Bill Murray's in there for a little bit, like I mentioned, but he doesn't last very long. And we just kind of move through to the final act where that big battle takes place. And while the action isn't the best, I still was very entertained by it. I enjoyed the first act mainly because of how we see how our characters are doing, and laughing at Scott's book. The end of the film was very weird and anticlimactic. Scott is thinking about how Kang won't be a threat anymore, and saying stuff like, "We won't have to worry about that guy again." Scott bites into a cake and gets grossed out, and the credits begin. That was just bizarre. Like, who came up with that? Uh, the after credit scenes really set the stage for this phase of the MCU, as we see the Council of Kangs who are beginning to plan their attack on the multiverse after Scott took care of this film's Kang. Also, we see some old friends in the second credit scene. Loki and Mobius meet a new Kang variant, presumably one of the ones that I assume they're gonna have to fight in season 2 of Loki. I'm definitely looking forward to that. So that was nice. I really wasn't expecting to see that. So when I saw Loki and Mobius, I was very happy. While Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania isn't perfect, and there are definitely plenty of issues, I found them to be minor enough, and they paled in comparison to the good aspects of the film, like Jonathan Majors as Kang and this family dynamic that we have between our main characters. I hope you enjoyed my review. Let me know what you thought of the film down in the comments below. I'm gonna do a MCU ranking video sometime in the future. Not sure when. It may be after Guardians 3, but I might as well do it right after this review. So that might be up soon. I don't know. Don't hold me to it. But I do want to do that for you guys because it's been very, very long since I've shared any thoughts on where I think the MCU ranks. So yeah, take care, guys.